Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a good Christmas or holiday period, whatever it is that you were doing. I think I've sorted out my lighting this time around. I hope it looks better to me in the monitor, whereas before it was completely washed out. So if this is your first time joining me here on a Monday is where I tell my subscribers ghost stories that they send in to me right here on this email address. This series is very much based on Bailey Saren's Murder Mystery Makeup Mondays. She mixes murder with makeup and I mix ghost stories or creepy stories or stories about aliens. I don't know, whatever you are scared of and mix those with makeup. Now, usually I would do a makeup look. As I go, but I'm filming this before Christmas and I'm trying to get all my work done. And that's why I've already done my makeup. I'm kind of trying to make my way through, but you all seem more than happy with just, the stories, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. Oh, and this eyelash is going to come off at any minute, so that's great. So we're going to go through stories. The theme of this makeup was I just wanted to look a bit shiny and oily and a bit greasy. Maybe I died from being too greasy. Okay, let's just get into it. Let's go into our first story. And this is called The Christmas Star. It says, "Hello, Sir Robert." That's so kind. "I recently found this series and have been binging through them all. You are a true artist in every sense of a word. Thank you. My story isn't haunting, but more of a weird, what was that type of incident. Thanks for taking the time to read it. My pleasure. On Christmas Eve, sometime way back in the early 80s, my dad woke me and my little sister up and told us to come out to the kitchen. He opened the deck door and told us to look up. We saw a large, bright star pulsing in the sky. It almost looked lacy around the edge, and it seemed to be growing and contracting with the pulse. We didn't look for very long as it was cold with a capital C, Minnesota winters. I know you don't like pronouncing that word, Robert. Sorry, it's okay. I think I got it. I can remember the Arctic air against my bare legs. We went back to bed because we didn't want Santa to pass us up. Christmas morning arrived, and while opening our presents, my sister and I started talking about the cool star from the night before. Our parents looked confused and asked us what we were talking about. The star you woke us up to see? My dad said that he never woke us up and that stars don't look the way we described it. We were adamant about seeing the Christmas star, and Dad was equally adamant that it didn't exist and that he never woke us up. Now at the ripe old age of 50, I understand that stars can't be what we saw, and I accept my father's denial of waking us up. My sister and I have decided that for whatever reason, we both had the same dream that Christmas Eve. That is so weird. What a strange dream to have, and so precise, and with details, like the lacy details. That's a very precise, what's the word? Image. Very precise detail about what you saw. That is so strange, but I love it. Okay, we have an audio story up next, and this is called, what's it called? It's called Poor Hubby.
Hi Robert, love your channel, love your content, and really like the ghost stories for Mondays. Here's a little story about when my husband and I first moved in together. So we moved into this little old house together. We'd only been together for probably about 3 months when we moved in together, but for that first 3 months, he always slept really well. After we moved into this house, he suddenly started having lots of trouble with insomnia. He just could not sleep at night, no matter what he did, could not shut his mind off, and just could not get a good night's sleep. As time went on, while we were living in this house, he was starting to feel like something was there. And he absolutely hated that because he's the kind of person who does not believe in that stuff. He does not believe in anything that he does not have control over. He's a very logical, well thought person who always believes that, logic wins out, and if you can't explain it with something logical, then it didn't happen. Unfortunately, he could not explain why he was feeling something and why he wasn't sleeping. It was just going on and on and on. After we'd been living there for about a year, his sister and her partner were up from Sydney to stay for the weekend, and the night that they were staying there, she had gone to the bathroom, And while she was in the bathroom, all of a sudden, my then boyfriend, my now husband, sits up in bed, looks over at the side of the room and goes, "Who are you?" And then he just starts flailing and kicking and freaking out. And I threw the lamp on and I went, "What's going on? What's going on?" She came rushing out of the bathroom going, "What is it? What is it? It's just me. I was just in the bathroom." And he was like, "No, there was an old man who was leaning over me in bed." And we kind of went, "You sure? You sure you weren't seeing something from the light in the bathroom being turned on?" He's like, "No, I'm positive there was a man leaning over me." So it took a little while for us to be able to go back to sleep. But since that moment in the house, he was convinced there was something that was there that was just following him around. Fast forward to about a year later, and we had to move into another house. My husband's other sister was moving in with us, and when we moved into this new house, he was hoping that that meant he was going to be able to sleep. First couple of nights, he couldn't sleep. Third night in, he kind of just sat up in bed, said, "Leave me alone. You harassed me enough at the old place. Leave me alone here. Stop harassing me." I asked him who he was talking to. He said, "I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you," and looked over to the doorway. I said, "Can you see anyone?" He said, "No, I can't, but I know that there is someone there." He still has some trouble with sleeping and with not being able to switch his head off, but I think that was a turning point because he never has actually seen anyone ever again. So I hope you liked my story, and yeah, can't wait to see more stuff on your channel. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much. That is terrifying. That is terrifying. And I completely understand after seeing stuff like that and experiencing those feelings, how could you have a peaceful night ever again? You know, with the possibility of it could happen again. It could jump back up at any time. Oh, chills, chills. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. That was really intense. Okay. So I've just seen a future note on here that was added, and it's about a dog. Okay. Well, as is custom, we have Marcus reading us 2 stories, and the second one involves a dog, which I've just seen. Okay. Well, let's go.
This first story is called The Nativity Set. Hi Robert, I love your videos. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I love your personality and I feel like you truly are the best makeup artist out there. This is an experience I had when I was a teen. My mum had been having some back issues and was sleeping in her recliner for a little while. My waterbed had popped, and until I got a new bed I slept on the couch in the living room with my mum. It was around Christmas and we had all of our Christmas decorations up, including the tree and several extremely delicate glass bells strung up that would jingle with the slightest breeze or vibration. We also had a delicate glass nativity set on our very large, very heavy, solid oak, glass-topped, square coffee table. In the middle of the night I woke up to a very loud sound, confused and disorientated. I reached out to the table to find it moving. It was moving straight up and down and was coming up off the ground by at least 2 inches at an incredible speed. My mum woke up as well, having to yell to ask what was going on. My heart was pounding and I said, "I don't know. The table is just moving." Right at that instant, it stopped. My mum went back to sleep, but it took me a while to get back off. I did notice, though, that not a single bell had rung or made any other sounds. When I woke up, I thought surely that was a dream, right? I asked my mum if she remembered the table moving, and she said she did, and thought it was a dream too. We went to look at the nativity set, and it was all over the floor, as if it had been thrown off. Nothing else was disturbed in any way. It had never happened before, and has never happened since. We do get very mild earthquakes, and sometimes have heavy trucks pass by the house, but neither has ever done anything like that, even the biggest earthquake ever recorded in our area, and there wasn't an earthquake reported at that time. I honestly have no other explanation. The second story is called My Mum and Dog Wished Us a Merry Christmas. Hi Robert, this is a story that is truly dear to my heart. My mother passed away on June the 12th, 2008 at the age of 58 after battling a long-term illness. Unfortunately, a few months later, my brother's dog Bo passed away suddenly. She adored my mother, and I truly think she died of a broken heart. Fast forward to that first Christmas after my mum and dog had passed. My brother and I were both living 500 miles away from home, and we didn't want my father to be alone since he refused to leave the house. So my brother, husband, and stepson, who was 6 at the time, drove to be with my father for the holidays. My brother was sleeping in my old bedroom since his old room was now my dad's office. My dad was in his own room, so my stepson was sleeping on the couch in the family room. My husband and I were on a pull-out bed in a separate family room by the kitchen. On Christmas morning, I woke up early while everyone was asleep. I got up, made a pot of coffee, and then crawled back in beside my husband. I was just laying there when I began to hear footsteps coming down the stairs. Growing up in that house, I always knew who was coming down the stairs by the sound. This time, I heard my mother's footsteps. I froze. I knew I was wide awake and not dreaming. I could hear her walk down the stairs and into the family room, where my stepson was still asleep. The footsteps paused for a moment, and then went into the kitchen. I knew if I turned around, I would see my mum standing in the doorway, between the kitchen and where I was. I slowly rolled over and opened my eyes, but she was gone. At that moment, my stepson had started to wake up to see what Santa had brought him. Later that morning, we were all sitting eating breakfast. I hadn't told anyone about hearing my mother's footsteps. My stepson says, "Nana told me to tell everyone Merry Christmas." We all looked at each other. My husband asks him, "Where did you get that from?" And my stepson answered, "Well, she walked by me this morning and stopped to rub my head. She said to tell everyone Merry Christmas. Bo was with her. She lit my face. She's with Nana now too." It was then I told everyone what I heard. My dad, who hadn't said anything till then, pointed at our fireplace mantel, where my mother's and the dog Bo's urns were, where both my brother's urn and our dog's urn was, and said, "I'm glad they're back together again." There you go, Robert. There's Merry Christmas.
Oh, for God's sake. Well, thank you so much for those stories. Anything with a dog really gets me going, so thank you. Oh, oh no, his lash is coming off. I need to take a picture of this. Look. That was so cute. Thank you so much for... Thank you so much for that story. I greatly appreciate it. Do I have one I'm reading out now? Let me get my mind off that dog. Okay, so our next story is called Christmas Eve Night. It says, "Hi Robert, I've only just discovered your channel. Hi, welcome. In the last couple of weeks. But I just want to say I absolutely love you and are slowly binge watching all of your videos. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I have a story that I thought I'd share with you. I was 10 years old. It was Christmas Eve night when all of a sudden I woke up from my deep sleep. I had my Christmas lights on in my room and my door open, as I was always afraid of the dark and still am to this day, and didn't want to keep my family awake. I sat up in bed and looked out into the hallway and saw a black, hunched over figure coming from my parents' room adjacent to my own. The figure turned to look at me, but even with glowing lights on, there were no facial features or anything to distinguish it. The figure was definitely too small to be any of my family members, leaving presents out from Santa, but I was not afraid of him. After the figure noticed I was watching, he silently crept down our small hallway, past my sister's room, and down the stairs. Once he was out of sight, I simply lay back down, rolled over, and went back to sleep. I remember when I woke again on Christmas morning, I told my family all about what happened. They had been asleep all night and didn't wake up once. Even my mum, who always deliberately woke up around 4 to leave some presents in our stockings or by our doors. Even as we got into our late teens, she did this, and she loves Christmas. To this day, I still don't know who or what it could have been. And I have never seen it since. Well, that sounds terrifying. That sounds hunched. Again, it's like that human, but not quite. But like it's mimicking a human, or is it a human? Okay, let's take a look at some TikToks. You can at me on TikTok at Robert Welsh MUA in anything scary. I love it. I'm trying to get on that side of TikTok, you know. Okay, let's have a look at our first TikTok. I'm going to turn this right down. Ever since that TikTok, I don't know if you haven't seen it already, go back, of the girl in a graveyard and there's that noise that scared the living crap out of me. I've been scared to open these TikToks. Let's just go. Let's do it.
Tesla in a cemetery.
I think that's pretty. I think it's getting the flowers and the tree mixed with people. I mean, it's just any kind of obstruction, isn't it? I don't know how Teslas work. Someone will have to tell me, but I wish that was creepier. Okay, let's have a look at our second one. Oh no, there's a child. Oh, please don't be creepy.
I woke up in the middle of the night to hear my daughter talking to herself. As I went to tuck her back in, she told me that the creepy people behind me were scaring her. I calmed her down, I tucked her in, and I proceeded to call the only guy that could possibly put my mind at ease. I called my dad because he goes on ghost adventures and this is basically what he lives for. He brought over his SLS camera to see if we would see anything, and for an hour we didn't. Until we did. Just hanging out in my chair. Honestly, I was a pretty skeptical believer until this occurred, so I'm not trying to push you to believe or what not to believe. Some people think that spirits walk around us every day. Maybe they have unfinished business. Maybe there are guardian angels. Who knows? I just know that I'm not about to piss off whatever this is in my house.
But also, like, give it boundaries. So be like, you can't keep scaring my daughter. If you look creepy, first of all, try not to look creepy. Is that something you can do? And like, or just don't appear around my daughter. You go to bed. When she goes to bed, you wake up. Do you sleep? Do you go sleep? I don't know. I would throw that chair away though. That chair will be gone. Okay, let's look at our last TikTok of the day. My ghosts are my new alarm clock. Oh, great.
Hey guys. Just waking up, getting ready for work, and here we go once again. We got this door moving. We got my bathroom door moving. Hey, please stop, spirits. Please. I'm actually, like, honestly scared to go check right now, because what if something's like... Oh, my... Oh. Please stop. Please. Hello? Just like I thought. Please stop. This is enough. This is enough.
Poor guy. Imagine having to get up to work now and then be like, oh, you know, you're in a bad mood. I used to be in a bad mood when I used to go anywhere to work and then be like, you know, tired. And be like, oh, you're tired? Why? Oh, them ghosts opening my cupboards and everything like that. No, that's so irritating. Poor guy. I hope you're okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me this week. That one did go a little bit quicker. I'm not sure how, but it just did. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, you can go ahead and send your ghost stories right here. We are having to pick and choose the stories now. Like you would have noticed that all of these had like a Christmassy kind of theme. However, if you want to send in your story in audio form, you talking, or you want to record yourself, telling the story, or you have pictures to go along with the story, or video to go along the story, that's always going to jump for queue just to mix it up a little bit. All right. Okay. Well, thanks again, everyone. And I will see you. Wait, will it be the new year? It will be. I will see you in the new year for our first ghost story video of the new year of 2022. Whew. Thanks again, everyone. Bye.